What's up everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you the story of exactly how I got my first wholesale deal and made $30,000 at only 17 years old. Guys, this deal that I got at 17 years old completely changed my life because by the time I was 18 years old, 1 year later, I became a millionaire through wholesaling real estate. So let me tell you step by step exactly my journey in wholesaling real estate to get this first deal for $30,000. That being said, guys, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go down below, hit the red button and subscribe. But let's get right into it. So guys, it took me 8 long months to get my first wholesale deal. Yeah, guys, that's over 264 days where I had to wake up every single day and make the decision to continue to try to wholesale real estate. And guys, it wasn't easy. 8 months is a long time to stay committed to something without getting the end result and to still see the path forward. But fortunately, I stayed dedicated and committed to it and saw it through, and I was able to make that $30,000 deal, which changed my life forever. So let's go back to how it started. So I first found out about wholesaling real estate by this guy named Alex Sains. You might know who he is, Alex Sains. He started wholesaling real estate when he was 18 years old. So I saw him on YouTube and I was like, holy cow, this is a business I could do at this age. So once I was 16, I realized I needed to be on an LLC with somebody over the age of 18 to wholesale real estate. So once I learned about the business in full, I then pitched it to my mom and I was like, hey mom, this is a great business. This is everything about it. Here's the risk, here's the upside. And I was able to get my mom to create an LLC that I was on with her. And this made me 18 in the business world where I was able to sign contracts and therefore get a wholesale deal under contract. So what I did next, now that I had the ability to sign contracts, I was ready to go out there and start chasing after this deal. But before that, guys, before that process of where I actually went out and took action, I spent 2 months of just watching YouTube videos and taking notes, learning exactly how to wholesale real estate and getting a well-rounded understanding of the business. And after about 2 months of knowledge, I didn't procrastinate any longer. I instantly took action. Now, the first thing that I did was I drove around neighborhoods looking for distressed properties, and I drove around looking on the map for pre-foreclosure properties, properties that were going in foreclosure where the homeowner hadn't paid their mortgage and the bank was going to take the property back from them. I looked for distressed properties and I looked for those properties when I drove around. And what I did was I printed out flyers on printer paper that said, I buy houses cash, I pay all closing costs, call me. And I went around knocking on doors and putting flyers in mailboxes and passing them out, trying to find a house that would sell their property to me. And unfortunately, I passed out about 500 of those flyers and I didn't even get a single phone call, and I got a lot of doors slammed in my face. But I continued trying. My next strategy that I tried was bandit signs. I bought 200 bandit signs, and what bandit signs are, they're little signs, they cost about $1 each, and they say, we buy houses cash, call me. So I bought about 200 of these bandit signs, and I bought the materials I needed, and I went driving around putting these bandit signs up on telephone poles, hoping that cars driving by would call me. And unfortunately, that didn't work either. I got like 1 phone call, but it didn't work out to be a deal. So then I pivoted my strategy. I'm like, you know what? These methods that I'm doing, I'm leaving flyers, waiting for them to call me. I'm putting out bandit signs, waiting for them to call me. I need to do a proactive strategy rather than a reactive strategy. Rather than waiting for them to reach out to me, I need to be reaching out to them. And that's when I decided cold calling marketing was the smartest strategy that I could do to get my first wholesale deal. I would be able to reach hundreds and thousands of homeowners by cold calling. So what I did was I went to Cole Realty Resource. There's a link down below in the description for this data provider. And they gave me unlimited data with phone numbers for about $500. So for $500 invested, I was able to get thousands of homeowners and their contact information to be able to call them up and ask them if they'd consider selling their property. So now I started cold calling, and I used a multi-line dialer to do this. Rather than hand dialing sellers one by one, which takes forever because most people won't pick up the phone, so you're just waiting in between a ton of calls to get somebody on the phone, I used a multi-line dialer that calls multiple people at once and feeds you the people that answer to do this, and that way I was able to reach hundreds and thousands of homeowners. and I committed to calling for 5 hours every single day. Now, you're probably wondering, if you're 16 years old at the time, because I started at 16, it took me about a year to get my first deal. If you're 16 years old, you must be in high school, right? Well, I was in high school, but fortunately, I was doing online school. This gave me the flexibility to have a free schedule. I was able to knock out my online school in the first couple hours of the day, and then I was able to cold call and try to find a wholesale deal for the rest of the day. And that's exactly what I did. So I started cold calling for 5 hours every day. After about 4 months of doing this, I went on a few appointments, but I had no luck. They didn't sign the contract, right? I went out to the property, looked at the property, pitched them the offer, presented the contract. They didn't sign it. So I was discouraged, but I kept trying. About 6 months in, I went out to a property in Gilbert, Arizona. It was a house on a golf course. And these sellers, I got their property under contract. Guys, this felt amazing. I got their property under contract, and I actually have the photos of the property right here that I can show you. So let me go ahead and show you the photos of the first deal that I ever got under contract. All right, so this is the first deal that I got under contract. It was on a golf course in Gilbert. And guys, I was so excited to get this property under contract. The sellers really liked me. They really wanted to sell me their property. And I was so excited that I finally did it. All right? But guys, something terrible happens and the deal falls apart. So let me show you the rest of the photos and then I'll explain. I don't really have any photos of what killed the deal, but I'll be able to explain it to you, and it's really unfortunate. So that's what the property looked like. And now guys, guess what happened? The property turned out to have a bunch of foundation issues. So after I got the property under contract and I got photos of it, I marketed the deal out to a few cash buyers that I found in Arizona. And then I walked one of these cash buyers, his name is Zach Keeps, through the property, and he pointed out all these foundation issues that I didn't see. And he said, hey, the numbers on this deal don't make sense with that much in foundation repair. So unfortunately, I had to go back to the seller and say, hey, I can't buy the house, and I had to cancel the contract. And this was extremely disappointing because this was after 6 months of trying to get a deal that I had to cancel the contract. I was so upset, but the next day, fortunately, I decided to keep trying, and I picked up the phone and I kept cold calling. And only 2 months later, I was able to get my first deal under contract where I actually made $30,000. All right, guys, here's the photo of my first deal that I got under contract. So it was a house here in Scottsdale, Arizona, only about 5 minutes from where I currently live. And when we were talking to them, they wanted about $450,000. And the property was outdated, right? As you can see, it's outdated. It has a step-down shower, which is super outdated, older tile. The house needed a full remodel, okay? But it was a really good property. This property right now, today, 5 years later, is probably worth about $1.2, $1.3 million. Now, back then, 5 years ago, they wanted about $450,000 for it. But in order for the numbers to make sense, I needed to negotiate and get the property a bit cheaper. So I was working with them on the price, talking them down, and I was able to get them to agree to $400,000 for the property. And I sat there in the kitchen with them, and I got the contract signed. Look at this amazing backyard of this property. It was on a massive lot, huge backyard with an awesome pool. It was a great deal. So I got them to agree to the $400,000, and now that I had the property under contract and the photos of it, I was able to market the deal and start working on finding a cash buyer. But it was really easy to find a cash buyer because all I did was walk that same buyer, Zachary Keeps, through the property that looked at my first deal, and he wanted to buy it. He agreed to buying it for $430,000, which was going to make me a $30,000 assignment fee. So I agreed to sell it to him, and I wrote up the assignment contract. He signed it, I signed it. He deposited his $5,000 earnest money at the title company, and there you go. A couple weeks later, the deal closed. It was as simple as that. Easy transaction process. The title company did the title search. The closing took place. Seller signed closing docs. Buyer signed closing docs. Buyer sent in the money. And the deal closed and were recorded with the county, and I got paid my $30,000 check. I made $30,000 at 17 years old, which was completely life-changing. But guys, the fortunate thing is I didn't go blow that $30,000 on a bunch of junk. I didn't go waste the money. I didn't buy a car. I didn't buy a watch. I didn't throw away the money. I took every penny of that and I reinvested it in my success, in my self-development, and in my business. I took $25,000 of that and I paid for mentorship with the biggest company here in town, with that guy, Alex Sines, that I learned wholesaling from originally. I then went and paid him for mentorship, and they taught me how to go from this first deal to making over $1 million a year wholesaling real estate. And I used that other $5,000 from the $30,000 to invest in my marketing. At the time of this deal, I actually had hired 2 cold callers to help me with the cold calling. So once I got this deal, I decided to scale my cold calling marketing, and I went to 4 cold callers. And then I got another deal for $15,000, and then I went to 6 cold callers. I got a couple more deals. I went to 8 cold callers, then 12 cold callers, and now I was doing about $50,000 every single month. And then I went and I got an office here in Phoenix, Arizona. I started hiring salespeople, and I got up to 18 cold callers. I had the proof of concept of what worked. Cold calling marketing worked. Outreach to a homeowner got me a deal, right? So I decided to just double down on that and keep scaling that. And I did that over and over again until I was making over $100,000 a month. And then I had about 3 sales guys in my office in Phoenix, and I moved out of that tiny office. It was like a 600 square foot office, and I moved to my office here in Scottsdale, Arizona. That's about 3,000 square feet. And I built up my team to 9 people in my office, 9 people plus me, so 10 people working at my company in the US, and I had 34 cold callers. Guys, this helped me do, in my biggest year of wholesaling real estate, just over $1.7 million. And I did this at 19 years old when I did $1.7 million. So from 16 to 19, I was able to produce about $4 million in total assignment fees from wholesaling real estate. I was able to become a millionaire and change my life forever. And guys, where I'm at currently is I'm still here scaling my business and building other businesses. Because I've been able to get my foot in the door in real estate and in this business venture, I've been able to scale other ventures, other 6- and 7-figure businesses. I've also been able to build my personal brand to put out YouTube videos like this to help other people achieve success in real estate. And guys, it's just been life-changing. So if you're on your journey for wholesaling real estate and you're trying to get your first deal and you're struggling, just know that if you stay committed to the process, you will get that first deal. It took me 8 months. Don't give up. You will get that first deal, and it'll change your life forever too. Now guys, as a thank you gift for sticking around to the end of the video, I want to go ahead and give you a free gift for watching the video, and I know this will be helpful on your real estate journey. So what I'm going to give you is my purchase contract, my assignment contract, and my cold calling script for completely free. All you have to do is go to jacobblank.com/free, and you're going to be able to download my purchase contract, my assignment contract, and my cold calling script for completely free. So make sure you go download that. There will be a link down below in the description for that as well. But I hope you guys found this video valuable. If you did, hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you go down below, hit the red button, and subscribe. It helps me grow the channel and reach more people and impact more lives. So I'd really appreciate it if you go subscribe. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.